Yeah, I'm a fooling moment of truth and natural wisdom. Yeah. As I post to many boys maybe I don't come on pay fine, many be brain kasa. Yeah. Now me post to a been subana my busy kakra me say me time, then I will talk about it. Now there is this program for Ghana for omoye interested or they are very omoye smart in terms of calculations and mathematics and electricity here and then. And I'm very sure say obi biara will call Ghana will Timi high school or Ghana or call your science. What you say? And as obi biara will go school mukusuya more about maths and stuff. No, obi biara or January obi biara will elective maths or Ghana should be able to qualify for this program, which is the easy way in this world we live in today. I was speaking with one brother na or Ghana where telecom engineering say telecom the communication engineering Ghana. I'm so busy near my university on. I feel near catch us when scholarships America inti bra America na ebeto our this so na ibenya licenses before you go back. But if you are already in America here, that this is how it works out. Now, my main information quick because my person very long. First of all, you need your high school certificate. I mean, I was campaigning for an Akufo and won't just say, you need high school certificate. And okay, I won't find your home. Okay, what do you say? Me ho ye mama e boni me ho ye pa ya me no prince ya chale me ho ye ya you nanado nana go for ya min shira why ya min shira yeah, you need only your high school certificate to be able to do this. You go to high school suya dey with me science and now we elective maths or high school now so be we very good in maths no qualifies. It's not everybody qualifies, but to be able to make things easy for you, these are the basic requirements from Ghana that you need. Who could school now feel mass what you say? Now, this is the procedure. This is the National Aerospace. What you say? National Center for Aerospace. Or more certification programs that will build you up. A baby up. Certification be a son could be called aerospace engineer. It will be a 6 years university and sana yadiamano. You take you only about 1 year and then you'll be able to do it all. First of all, you get your aircraft electronic certification. Maybe curriculum. Now I know that is the basic one. And then after you get that, you get your high school certificate. Now with your high school certificate, then after that you get your endorsement. You have autonomous navigation systems. On the car we use GPS and the aeroplane fly with GPS all over. So systems na aircraft you don't have to go to university for 6 years to know that. It can take you 1 year to be familiar, to familiarize yourself with all of that. What you say? Maybe less. What you say? Now, dependent navigation system. You have autonomy, automatic system or aircraft in Bibre. We have autopilots and stuff. It's dealing with robots and stuff. You use autonomy or autonomous. What you say? Now, I'm sorry. Now, dependent navigation system, every aircraft or ship. Now I'm gonna show you how to obtain your license to become a ship captain. Yeah, have you thought about that? How to answer university be an I don't know. How do you get your license to be able to be a ship, to be on a ship, to be a sailor, a rare sailor, being in the boat? How do you get that license? I'm gonna show you how. Now you need only your high school certificate for that. Oh, Nanado, Yamisha. And then you do your radio communication systems. Radio communication, you get your aircraft electronic license, and then you get your autonomous navigation systems and dependent navigation. Dependent navigation system, it depend on human beings to operate them. What you say? So you get your dependent, you have your autonomous and dependent, and then you get your radio communication systems. You see, when I was flying out, I was talking on the radio here and there. You get this license to work all those systems. If you have this license, you work around all those systems. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have to go to university for that. You need your high school certificate. Your high school certificate from Ghana, that Nana Akufo-Addo is giving to you for free. She'll do the job. What you say? That is your ticket. Now, and then you get your onboard communication and safety systems. But for aircraft, no about na bejina mu. Say aeroplane kwa you say domo phone, you see no man instructions, no kasa bebre no. This is the onboard communication and safety systems. What you say? How to program seat belts. There are so many things to program inside. But your basics is to be a powerful and smart computer-based electrician, computer-based electronic or electrical engineer, to be able to have access to all these 4 licenses that I am showing you. It's only 3 books. We'll be here only 3 books. We'll be here only 3 books. And I'll be here. Book no crown. What do you mention? I just am a course work of about a what you say? Now, open another option. Up so called industry for all the aircraft manufacturing companies like Boeing, Airbus, and stuff. So you be here aerospace aircraft assembly electronics license, and also falling under all of this. We say here business aviation cabin crew. What you say? And you're more chartered flight phone. As you can afford the billionaires no more chartered flights. No. Somebody you can be between a high set check on one aircraft man. You do all of that. What else? And then you have the unmanned aircraft system maintenance. That is what we do. You see, when I was building all these small aircraft, no human being is inside. You are controlling them with a remote. When you were building the quadruple or whatever, or 6-wing drones, you were using the unmanned aircraft systems. That is this license that you use to build your drone. So before you get them, you know everything in the system. But your basics license, no. All these that I'm giving you, we are the most difficult exams in the aviation industry. People don't do it. And even the exam questions have not been published for this one. But as a Ghanaian, we are Ghanaian, say utimi we na me test you. Me your test be. So we I'll meet you one of these days. Me will test be. Utimi pass ya. Me pass exam so. Me promise me pass. Ushia me na utimi. Yeah, now obi be adigo so. Now, these are the 34 sessions, 33. So I think we introduction film, which is very simple. We introduce about 33 sessions, and it's about 21 pages. Now, we me download. Me the Sunday boys need be, but then I have some questions. No, those. Then I decided to talk about it so that everybody will be on the same page. Now, information that you need in session 1, no, introductory and general requirements. General requirement and introductory and general requirement. You need your direct current or the basic terms. The basic terms for your direct current. Mamo electricity, no. Ube here electrical. You need electrical and a computer-based knowledge. You see, I met a Nigerian in the shop the other time. The guy was so happy as I was talking to him. He realized he's gonna also do this. He was already a software engineer, and immediately he add this. He will be on top of the game. So, we meet people for everything happens for a reason. So he was very, very happy. As I was talking to him, he was very, 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 very happy. Now, successful education. Okay, now ube here DC current. DC current. We know you have the you have the ampere, you have the battery, capacitor, conductor, or yeah, you have your current, coulomb. I'm just mentioning some of the terms: inductor, insulator, left-hand rule, magnetic permeability, magnetism, metric preferences, neutrons, Ohm's law, protons, resistance, scientific notation, static electricity, volts, watts. That is your basic terms for your AC current, and you're gonna and then part two, no, about 34 parts. Now, um, alternating current, no, and so and the second part. Once you have familiarized yourself with the direct current, any the basics, your battery runs off as direct current, as I was telling you, and then your part two, alternating current basic terms, is alternating current, apparent power, capacitive reactance, delta wound, effective frequency, impedance, inductive reactance, phase, polyphase, power factor, rectifiers, resistors, resistance. We are in a AC circuit. RMS, you root mean square, sine wave. That is when you're going to use your function generators and oscilloscopes and all of that. And you need the true power and the wind wound. So once I'm gonna take some of you guys through, but me the general overview so that calls must best stop it. Because the moment you call me and I sent or you message me and I sent you the link, then you should start looking it up for yourself. Now, part three, a basic theory of operation, the amps, bridge circuits. You're talking about bridge circuits, complex circuits, Joule's, Kirchhoff law, Ohm's law, power circuits, and power. And you're gonna get the resistance. Resistance is everywhere because without resistance there is no electricity. Without resistance there is no fire, and the basics of electricity is fire. So you know what I'm saying. Now, resistance in a parallel, resistance in series circuit and a series parallel, and voltage drop, watts and volts again. So now part four, a troubleshoot. You learn how to troubleshoot. Yɛbɛma machine bi na yɛasɛ no yɛsɛ yɛ yɛbɛma a component bi na destroy yɛsɛ find out what it is. That is how you learn how to troubleshoot in the bridge circuits, complex circuit, voltage drop, Kirchhoff law, power circuit, resistors in the power circuit. So it's all about troubleshoot. That is part four. Because for the most part, your job, and then this is what the test is about. It's about troubleshoot. What you see? It's about, you see, previously, no say, not boys, maybe a year. Into many more discuss here, maybe one of my post to pictures, maybe out to page, just to motivate the boys and to have people the inside of what is going on. Now, troubleshooting, the basic term is how to know how to troubleshoot, how to find faults, problems, and solve them. That is the basis. Now, part five, a basic circuit calculations. You do calculations here and there. I'm saying maybe my post to be brave. Go. How many boys net I be your phone? So near there will be all frame ya. If you must switch screenshot to brave me and I discuss na afi calculate. What you say? You talk about AC calculations, the apparent power, capacitance, capacitive reactance, effective voltage, frequency, impedance, inductance, inductive reactance, peak voltage, period, phase angle, power factor, resonance, and true power. And then in the DC is the amps, ohms, watts, and volts. That is your basic electromotive and resistance and whatever. Now, part six, a basic DC and AC's basic circuit measurement. You will take measurement with your multimeter. We have so many ways of taking measurements. You can read or you can use oscilloscopes for measurements, or you can use, so it's all about taking measurements, finding out what it is, where it's not working. It is also part of the troubleshooting process. But then this is part six. It's more about taking measurements. What you say? Now, that is part six. You see, metal woman not English. Yeah, but yantraso. Part 7, resistor color codes. Me post to be or have brought the biname peso tiasi. Then I sent him one of the pictures. Easy way to keep it on his phone so that he can always remember it. Always the first color is black, and yeah, the first color in the resistor color code is black. Black, brown. Black is 0. Yeah, I love that part. I used to love that part. Now we're getting used to the resistor color codes, and of course it's gonna be on the test. What you say? And a resistor fault isolation is part 8. Is when you learn how to isolate a fault resistance or a resistive fault in the component. What you say? Now, part 9 is inductors. How do you get inductors? Inductive coil. So you're talking about calculation of inductive reactance, correct operation of inductors or coils, use of multiple inductors, isolate fault inductors, open and short inductors or in a circuit. Part 10, a capacitor or theory of operation of a capacitor or calculation of capacitive reactance, correct operation of capacitance. Mepɛ sɛ mo a moayɛ saa nneɛma yɛ nyinaa no wote deɛ woyɛ familiar with ya. Obi a obi hwɛ na wayɛ yi kakra, but wote deɛ woyɛ familiar with ya. Then you begin to, it boosts your morale if you have the interest. What you say? Now, correct operation of capacitors, dielectric. Capacitor is also dielectric, electrolytic. There are so many ways of, and the farad is the measurement of capacitor, and fixed capacitors, time constants. That is when you discharge or charge capacitors. Is what I'm saying. Now, the use of multiple capacitors in a circuit, and the use of okay, so that is what it is. And a variable capacitors. Part 11, a capacitor fault isolation. Specifically, finding out what is wrong with it, isolate it from the circuit, possibly replacing it. What you say? And part 12, a transformer, counter EMF, electromotive force, eddy currents, hysteresis, a primary winding, secondary winding, step up and step down transformer. We all familiar with that. When you were in your high school doing your integrated science, you did something around transformers. I see. Now you did something around transformers. Now transformer fault isolation. So you have to isolate a transformer that is faulted and possibly rewind it or make how to fix the problem. Like either if it's coming from the secondary or the primary coil. Now, that is what it is in part 14, part 13. Part 14, analog circuit devices and switches. Analog circuit, you are dealing with the rating factors, double pole, double through switches, double pole, single through switches, micro switch, normally close, normally open, proximity switches, and a push button switch. You see, when I hit the microphone and I talk on the microphone. So you get to know all of this to get you ready. And then you're working with the relay switches. Relay switches are controlled by electricity or it's like automatic setup switch. You get the rocker, rotary, solenoids. Solenoids are more like the relay switches. Then the single pole, double through switches, and toggle. It's a lot of information, but you have to be. This is the most difficult. We need the most difficult test in the aviation industry, the whole world. So if you get this, I think so. You should be. That is the platform for all the other licenses to follow. Now, power supply circuit and rectifiers. That is when we are talking about your diode, your forward bias diodes, full wave rectifier, half wave rectifier, reverse bias, ripple amplitude, silicon. What do you use silicon for? So these are some of the things that you learn in your science, your periodic table elements here and there, solid state devices, and three-phase rectifier, type of components used, and use of power supply circuits. Now, power supply circuits here, There are so many power supply circuits out there, and you use them a lot in the aircraft. What you say? Even this license, even at the moment that you have it, not even only working for the aircraft or the aviation industry, you can do so many things in so many places. What you say? Now, frequency sensitive. Part 16, active filters and passive filters. Filters, so you talk about that. Filters in a circuit. And then we also, part 17 also, a band pass, band reject, cutoff frequency, demodulation, detection, filtering, high pass, turning circuit, and use of crystals. So it's just the basic things that you have learned in science. But this time you're going to use it to work. Now, part 18, wave generation circuit. Wave generation circuits, now you use oscillations or oscillators, crystal control oscillator, Heli oscillator, LC tank oscillator, regenerative feedback path. You see what I'm saying? And then you get the wave shaping circuit, a stable multivariator, bistable multivariator, crystal control oscillator, LC tank, monostable multivariator. And it's just basic. And then you get part 19, a limiter circuit. Limiter circuits are you're dealing with your diodes, your Zener diodes, and your transistors. What do you use transistors for? And where do you get transistors from? It is all part of this. This is the foundation for everything. So it's a lot of information to cover. But then if you are able to get it done, it's going to make. And then part 20, digital numbering systems. You do your binary systems. When you were in high school, you did your binary. You see, when you were in your high school, you did binary operations. Yeah. And you're going to do your octa. The octa is what you don't do in senior high school, but it's very easy. The same way you do your binary, you can also do octa. That is when you involve the alphabet comes in your, it's a form of binary, but you get the alphabets also. It's gonna mix up. That is what you use to write a code. Then you get the octa and hexadecimal. Hexa is 6 plus a decimal 10, so base 16, and octa is base 8. So from your binary, then you move to octa decimal, and you get your hexadecimal. You get your octa and hexadecimal. Base 16 is hexadecimal. And now part 21, digital logic functions. Digital logic functions, when you get your logic gates. Logic gate, you get your AND gate. Now, what about a discussion about it? He was very excited about it. I think I even posted a picture about that. Yeah, maybe I go after some busy. I'm coming back. Yeah, it's very simple. This is how you get your. Yeah, now get back. So you get your all the gates, your gates, and the flip flops. You get your JK flip flop, your latches, your RS latch. You get your counters, your computer, all the systems that I was talking about, your autonomous, dependent navigation systems, communication system, onboard safety, whatever, it's all going to be controlled by computer-based logic functions. So you go to school, in your high school, you did logical reasoning. You apply that concept here in a broad version, or you broaden this type of knowledge that you got from your logical reasoning, logic gates. Is what I'm trying to say. Now, and yeah, we did the flip-flops, synchronous flip-flops, data type flip-flops. You get your AND gate, NOR gate, inverters, NAND gate, OR gate, or all gates. It's all the gates, exclusive all gates. So you get all the gates, and how you actually see them on a motherboard. You see them on a motherboard. That is how information flow on the motherboard.
with the help of resistors and all the transformers and you see all the gates. At some point you see one of them on a board, on a motherboard. So I'm saying. Now 22 part 22 hazard and safety practices. RF energy, noise, electrical power, microwave, ESD protection, and first aid, electrical shock. That's when you learn how to use appropriate, all these are common sense, how to use appropriate safety or PPE, personal protective equipment, doing your job here and there, handling procedures. That is part 23, storage and labeling, types of hazardous materials and fluids. You get to use to all the different type of fluids, all the different types of fluids that you're going to need, your acid and all of that, to generate, and all your batteries. You're going to get used to all the batteries, the lead acid battery, the Nike battery, and all this type of batteries that you're going to need. You're going to get and FOD prevention. The FOD prevention is only part 24. The part 24 is also considered a separate license on its own after you get this endorsement. And that is one of the specialties. Technical publications, interpretation of manuals, reading of schematics. Ubenya diagram bi ho say wire BBD na chere na ekoso ne ade. I mean, we are all used to all of this when we were in high school in Ghana, so it shouldn't be a big deal. And the common tools. I was telling you about how to get all the tools. You know all the tools that you're going to need, general purpose tools. You're going to need your hammers, screwdrivers, pliers, punches, wrenches. You're going to need your metal cutting tools, hand snips, files, drills. You're going to need your hacksaws here and there. Because at some point you're going to cut a metal piece, you're going to file, you're going to smooth it up. You're going to need all of this. You're going to need your solder. You're going to need your crimping and all of that. You're going to need your magnifiers. If you not have it for yourself, wherever you're going to work, it's going to be there for you to use them whenever it is needed. Handling of electrostatic devices. How do you handle electrostatic devices? There are electricity, but because it is around something, it generates. Whenever you are spinning something, there is electricity around it. How do you control yourself? Because adibia e trying to electricity anymore. It may shock you. You will never be electrostatic electricity. How do you handle all of that? Because you're going to be dealing with a lot of them in the airplane. Once you see the fan and the props and all of that, everything involves spinning. So if care is not taken, you're going to shock yourself. You're going to deal with corrosion. You got that from high school. Part 28 is corrosion. Galvanic corrosion, intragranular corrosion, pattern corrosion. You're going to deal with corrosion. What causes corrosion? You're going to deal with all of that. That's what I'm saying. And then part 29 is safety devices. Safety wire. You know how to do your safety wire and shear wire. You're going to be taught how to do all of that. Yeah. And part 30 is wiring. It's all about wiring of aircraft. So before you have this license, after this license, you should be ready to do anything. You should be ready to do anything already. Even without the endorsement, you should be ready to do it. But the endorsement is what takes you to the higher level of specialty. But after this, you should be able to do anything. Perform wire maintenance, successful, So that is what it is. And part 32, use test equipment and special tools, analog multimeter, continuity tester, digital multimeter is all coming revisiting what you did in your basic AC and DC circuits. But in a more detailed version. And part 33 is the aircraft structures. The fuselage, the wing, the empennage, the internal and external bracing, and for structural integrity, aircraft access and control, aerodynamic forces. It's all about, this is all fixes that you did in your high school. Flight controls, theory of flight, Bernoulli's principle, and here and there. And it's 33. a total of 33, except the introduction, it's a total of practically 33 sessions. Is what I'm saying. This is what you're gonna need to be able to be a successful so somebody is going to school for aerospace engineer to be able to do all of this. Unko aerospace. What you say? Unko aerospace be a fee. We smart to grab it me a fee. Usuan fee okwa pass where something na opa suan fee na kwa pass. Onya aerospace unko aerospace be ne board den do. It's not a long time, it will still time. This is what it is. The brothers no more friend, na ebi monte Aviation naso. Actually, we friend me the book on the best sando. Me the way say me try na picture sando. No mama wa there be o. Wait me cry bookshop or to this type of books no. You are not gonna get it in the library. What you say? You are not gonna get it in the library. Inti be sre mo me smart na ye nya nema. Na me ka simbi achem say ye African. We have the best climate, the best weather, and everything in Africa. But the climate, we have to climb up in our best climate that we have. But then we are being distracted a lot with the religion and stuff and going here and there to pray. And Americans, they don't care about that. They don't care about that. You don't care about that. People going to church, it's all distractions. It's all distractions. You go into church to pray that God should give you a car. Your fellow human being in America is designing the car, and that the God is going to give to you. You have to be very smart. You are praying that the Lord should give you a private jet. The Lord should give you your private jet. They are praying. Your fellow human being in America here is designing the private jet. If you are working hard, you are applying your brain. I went to the wooden shop a couple of weeks ago, and then all the woods there, I met a Ghanaian brother, and I was showing him what I was there to buy. He was very surprised what I was going to use it for. And then I was introducing him to all the woods. The name just changed, but we have all of them in Ghana, and actually they are all coming from West Africa here. Because America be a BNC. If you have a good port or one day, but in a good shop, may kokoto the quiet by Ghana. I'm catching the boys, so now go forward with a free SHS. We make a good use of that. Then after that, yes, say a time you cover ball, you call near the other, and I don't help. What you say? We more baby with me through and Ben, I'm teaching. I've always tried to keep myself busy. When I was so young, when I was in the village where my grandmother was, Saturday, I have some young boys in the family. They were going to church on Saturdays because they were lazy. On Ghana, Saturday, and I attack of food. She said, "Wow, I'm passing. I said, one another coffee. One at men announced what Uber coffee, Mrs. If you home called, I didn't know Saturday. And so, men pass or a crown. Men another coffee, my bad. Men son me good, Obia come as and say me good. The guy is very smart, and I was in school. All the time, I was the number one in the class. Every time, people who know my history, all my teachers know me. Till date, some of them, I talk to them. They saw me and hey, this guy. When I was in school, from primary 1 all the way to primary 6, I was the number one in the school. And I'm casting me here challenge for high school. Me ko hwese bia me na me mo me homode anase me na me bo mo homode anase school no mo for na low standard nti me pay changes. That I told my father that I need to change this school. What you say? Me na me nkofu mu me na me no mo nkwaso Saturday me no mo nkwaso o mo kwasoro ni ade na me nso me kofu me na de me kofu mo kwa tianka because customers be brave e will leak ono na nka no e ho orange plantation kesi de e will leak side ho no yeah e bensu you know me na de ya kwa me na mkofu no mate anka no ni ade na o mo nso kwasoro yo o mo kwasoro nti me hu so Saturday no papa na wo munyina na mesere o Saturday no papa na wo munyina adware kwasori but me de minim say e de ya me na mekwa akote me na nanka nti me dware se de ya obesan betweme efra Sunday nti me kura me ha me hu nkudwa me de me hu fin se what you say
This is the moment of truth and so let us do something for ourselves. And see, God help those who help themselves. Nana akofo ado abi kwa ho si free SHS mo nyusu no kwa ti we ye wonye we ma mo na mo nsanya ho ye mpadwuma ye bebre na ye mpadwuma wonim se bia wotu kwa bedura aburuchira life no easy aburuchira life no nye easy sa wo obeye adwuma wotira nya be double enso na wo sika ne nya atwa wo rent e wa aburuchira what you say aburuchira said ye mo te Ghana mo aburuchira no ana akofo ado ama free SHS ye mo nyusu what you say Omenya smart. And adeɛ baako a yɛnya ho adeɛ baako a before yɛyɛ ne sɛ nti na da bia broni ne progress yɛde nneɛma bebree ɛkyenkyene yɛ ho ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkɔgye car bozin bi dɛm ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkɔgye car payment bi a car payment no car no kora no afi ne nye ho bio wate aburukyire ne ho nyanto no wakɔ akɔbɔ bosan ɔbank yakɔ akɔsi fie kɛseɛ ɛsi Ghana de ne din ato so ɛna wotua ho bank bosan what you say onkonko duru Ghana na ontena burukyire be 30 years ana 40 years ya ana 20 years mpo a onko duru Ghana na ne fie star no etwem efie bi ono bo bosan bank sie no na etwem na omunya nimdeɛ no nso ɛyɛ enwuma papa no ekoduru Accra na omuma me fie otrasako oh what you say na ono no brain mogya ne kɔbɔ bosan akosi dan wa kura bi ase a wa nyusu obekwa okodi holidays wo ha no wada ho 2 days no wasaba. You can help the family live a better life, but think about how to get yourself into the grounding obitia buruchire wontime na what you say it is also abrofo na ebeto omo ha no kwese ye omo kuro no ye amena abrofo bi o program bi asete omo hu mi life no adabia amta omo say you are me one of the African guys omo hu some simple because bi mo me of course sometimes I dress but I'm always simple wherever I'm going. See people dressing trying to look sharp no yeah they are abrofo no ba Africa we Africa the weather is good any snow any awono me I don't need this abrofo no we ne shirt be simple no de nam Ghana samata hwoma ba yanso de uhuru ne mo afie ne ahyatade kuntan yakwaji atade kese na bruni bi nso awro ne ho ahye na atade simple ahye ne mpabo bi na because Ghana snow bi ani ho to wonya ne ho kuntan we have to learn how to be simple ajaye na your time I say na Sunday mo mo ayen it's a distraction a Sunday na distraction weather condition I war African you can do anything any day what you say na am ka mo Ghana nyu no nsema bo mapata wo me backyard ha ba ha de me bopata na snow ne ba e be capture e kura wontime nyu so bi what you say that is aburuchire ba wo Ghana no nse wa abopata Ghana snow bi ani ho nsuo ne beto e watwa e ya to ase asa oh chali mama yenyu so ya adwen mama yenyu so ya adwen pa tikakra me pese me religion na ya distraction but na Sunday mo say ko hwenya me wa feel be we mama yenyu serious kakra why me de e ho ne de me nsesan e ho de me nsesan religion na mo ayen masa tikakra me pese me ka kire man me de mu bisia this is the moment of truth nti brothers no o message me me the way say in the best send me the link in the best send direct because people were not able to look that up if you hear this Sunday and I'm not more discuss here call na doso me san be call be nti me srem me de mu bisia I love you all